All right.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Oh, no, pardon me. I'm actually waiting for someone. Well, look who it is. The magnificent, the brilliant fine arts instructor, Professor Stevens.
Well, the living breed, Johnny Bob Dixie. How many God's name are you?
Oh, I can't complain. Hey, I thought you were in California.
Oh, yes, but I moved back here recently, permanently.
Oh, those Californians weren't too tough on you, were they?
No, it just felt like it was time to come home, and, it's kind of nice being able to come and go as I please, being retired and all now.
Well, you came back just in time. I see you got your black binder in your hand. But just you know that these 2 scripts in my bag are again going to be your demise. It'll be just like old times.
I beg your pardon?
The USA Writers Contest, that's what you're here for, right?
Well, you must know, Johnny Bob. Yes, I'm here to enter the contest.
I knew it.
But did I understand you correctly? You're entering 2 scripts?
That is correct.
Well, I'm happy for you, Johnny Bobby. You always have been runner-up worthy.
Oh, you haven't changed a bit, Professor.
Neither of you. Well,
what?
This contest, the one you say will be my demise, you do know what it's about, right?
Of course I do. I wouldn't be here if I didn't know. But by the way, Professor, what are you talking about?
Well, after extensive research, of course, I've determined that this contest is about social awareness, social issues. Plays and scripts that enrich the soul.
Oh, socialists! Yeah, what of it?
What of it?
Yeah, look here, Professor. Tomato. Oh, look, socialist, capitalist. Both are going to leave the USA in the debt anyway, so I'll take my chances. It's showtime!
Well, if that's your new way of thinking, I guess maybe you've evolved as a writer, but given the kind of scripts you usually write, unlikely you would win.
Unlikely? Well, look who's embraced his Hollywood prima donna. I didn't know I was on the stage to be critiqued like one of your students. So tell me, magnificent drama queen, how may I become worthy?
Just a fact, as my students would say. First things first, tell me about your 2 scripts.
Oh, sure. The first one is a semi-finalist from the good old boy playwriting contest. You know the one I entered in Sanford, Florida 3 years ago?
Yes. And what was the name of that script again?
How He Made Us Great Again.
Right. And the second script?
How He Would Have Kept Us Great.
We're sure of ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
And Putting America First.
Yeah.
That's such a good boy.
Yeah. All right, wise guy, what about your script?
Oh, yes. My script is entitled Prospective Greatness to Possible Impeachment.
You don't say.
Oh, yes. I'm saying it.
Well, good old Professor Stevens. Always thinking outside the box. Always showing up the little guy. So tell me, Professor, what was the name of that contest in sunny California?
The Missing in Action National Security Awards. You're looking at a top finalist here, so should be good enough for this contest.
Fluff. For prospective greatness.
To possible impeachment, that's right. What's so amusing?
Oh, nothing. I just think it's funny that you and I both decided to write about similar topics, that's all. For what it's worth, Professor, I do believe America can become great again. We have to, because we ain't doing so good right now.
I have to agree with you on that, Johnny Bob, but we've been through tough times before. We've even had tough times with leadership, but we've always come through, as we should.
With all that said, Professor, how did you get the liberals to sign off on your script?
What an absurd question.
All right. How did the Californians receive your script at first?
Another absurd question.
Look, all I'm saying is that sometimes your scripts seem to need more work. More thought through. Look, like that beautifully Justified.
By what?
Justified.
Oh, yes. Brutally Justified.
Yeah, the one about the black kid. Now, that had USA Writers Contest written all over it. Because it had all that enriched stuff you were talking about earlier. But I bet you haven't even finished writing it. You see, no follow-through. And I bet it's the same thing. Sure, some people ask, how could a white man tackle an issue like police brutality? Hell, even I said it. But you, not pursuing the truth and the greatness that your script could become, now that's just straight abortion. And I bet it's the same thing with this script you're entering now. So if I were you, I wouldn't enter it. Nope. Wouldn't do it.
Wait a minute, I know what this is about. You don't think your two scripts are social enough, so you're trying to get me to not enter it either.
No, Fluff, I'm speaking to you as a friend.
Friend, look, friend, this is a top finalist. Top! Like I said, should be good enough for this contest.
Are you sure, Professor? Because a final is, it ain't the same as a final.
What about you, sir?
What about me?
The Sanford, Florida good old boys finalist. They must have thought that your narrow way of thinking was highly entertaining, because in reality, your narrow way of thinking is entertaining.
What was that, Professor Stevens?
I said, all right, look, let me put it to you this way. What was that second script about again?
How he would have kept us great.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I rest my case. Because we all know who he is. There's one thing I do know for certain. You shouldn't enter either.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
Your scripts are only a hit at the local Sunday service. Oh, and don't forget the red caps for souvenirs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon that your perspective greatness ain't so great either.
So any other thoughts, sir?
Oh, yeah. And it'll be a one-hit wonder at the local Martin Luther King Jr. Center.
All right, Johnny Bob, you can keep thinking that way, and maybe someday you'll believe it. But as for me, I do have a dream, and I'll keep California dreaming because I believe that America is bold but cold-hearted. This is my opportunity to heat them up. So one-hit wonder? Fine with me.
Hey, Professor.
What?
You remember Betty, the actress writer?
No, can't put my finger on it.
You reckon she's the one with the big hair?
Oh. Yes, what about her?
Well, she's sitting right over there.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the one who told me about this contest and all. You know, she's also from California and newly widowed.
That's right. I heard Harry had passed away. I felt bad for her.
Oh, I didn't. And besides, now Betty's back full time and Betty can get to crocking again.
Oh, I don't know, Johnny Bob. Betty's a whole lot of woman. You think you can handle someone like that?
Sure, I can handle that set of hooters any day.
No, I'm talking about Betty's way of thinking, her wit.
Oh, yeah, Betty's thinking. Betty's thinking?
Make my case for me. Look, stay with me now, okay? You see, in the world of writing, I know everything there is to know about a woman writer by the kind of script she writes.
You don't say. Hey, wait a minute. Are you trying to say I can't woo a woman like Betty?
Shh. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Professor, what?
Don't get all topsy-turvy. I mean, we're just talking here. So humor me, okay? So I want you to think Betty.
Oh, yeah.
Now, think about Betty's last script. What was it called?
Aren't we all immigrants?
Right. Think about content.
Oh, yeah. And that part about suggesting that nationalists go back to Europe if they're unhappy here, that was a hoot.
Right. And then that one line she wrote. To think that the white race is dying out is ridiculous. For as long as people can choose who they marry, all races will thrive. And then there was another script she wrote. What was that called?
She's coming.
No, that's not it.
No, Betty. Oh, Betty, she's heading over here.
Oh.
Hi, boys. I couldn't help but overhear your chat.
Oh?
You boys mind if I chime in?
It's okay with me. What about you, Johnny Bob? Johnny Bob?
Oh, yeah, please, chime away.
Boy, oh boy, you boys got one thing right. None of your scripts are USA Writers Company worthy. At least not yet.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, what makes you so worthy to have the final say, Betty? I mean, why would you say such, Betty?
Well, you're looking at a 3-time recipient of the USA Writers Company Award. That's how.
I'm all ears.
Very interesting. Please continue.
I thought that might get your attention, but that's not what I'm most proud of. You see, I've discovered a secret to keeping a winning streak.
Oh, now I'm really all ears. How'd you manage to do that?
I'm glad you asked, because you see, it all begins with you, Professor.
The professor?
Yes, remember when you two were discussing his script earlier, Brutally Justified? Well, not so long ago, I wrote a script of my own called #You, Her, and Me Too, due to one of the lines in Brutally Justified.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, interesting. Which line was it?
I can hear it now. For those who fight injustices die daily. Not so much physical deaths, no, but with their voice. For voices fade when we become immune.
Oh, yeah, I remember that line. That's the one that got the entire riding club in an uproar when the professor over here compared the actions of an activist to the sacrifice of a soldier. I bet you General MacArthur's still rolling over in his grave on that one.
Oh, I've heard those opinions too,
But I never finished it. Look, I know where you're going with this, Betty, but aren't you concerned about what people will think, about your concern for the voiceless and all of that?
As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free. That's another renowned quote from your script. And you know, Professor, now is the time for America to rally up as many voices as they can to get us back to how we were.
She was listening indeed.
You know, at times I think it's our responsibility as writers to help people become free in thought, word, and deed. Have you ever felt that way, Johnny Bob? Well, I would have never finished my script if it hadn't been for Brutally Justified. So you know, Professor, if we concern ourselves with what other people think, none of our scripts would ever get finished, now would they? I hope that answers your question.
I'll say. And your winning streak?
Oh, well, I have to thank the founders for that. You see, this contest is not like any other contest, because from its very foundation, it embraced diversity, encouraged creative freedom, and understood the importance of supporting every writer that walks through its doors. And most importantly, the founders' motto is to make sure that every contender realizes it's not about who wins the contest, but about how great you can make others around you become. That's why I've kept coming back for the past 10 years, and, well, that's it. That's how I keep my winning streak.
Sounds right up my alley.
Well, I'd rather attend to those that appreciate my thinking.
Oh, Johnny Bob, don't you understand? Your thinking would be appreciated. For the USA Writers Company and America are one and the same, in that they both want to help make America great. And that's right up your alley now, isn't it?
Well, it is, but...
But what?
Oh, Betty, give it up. He's too deeply embedded in the proposition that we suffer in the presence of certain individuals in this country. You know, blacks and Mexicans and people like that.
Oh, Professor, lower your voice.
And we wonder why race is such an easily used tool to divide.
The only tool around here is you. For you have a few loose screws if your thinking is not like mine. Because even Martin Luther King came to understand that separate but equal was prominent. The truth will set you free, brother.
Oh, look, we both know that even if the races remained separate, no real opportunities would arise, especially with likes of you still marching on.
Come on, boys, you're worse than a candidates debate.
Oh, give it up, Betty. What you're fighting, this embedded idea. Look, it's a very nice thing that these founding forefather writers and you are trying to do, but what do you expect from such a tainted foundation? I mean, do you really expect the cycle of America's issues to come to an end?
You know, truth always uproots what's in a foundation. History repeats itself, you know. So I'm just waiting for the next John F. Kennedy or Julia Ward Howe to rise up and get this country back on track and to officially end at least some cycles for good.
Yes, history repeats itself, but look, I'm with you, Betty. I'm all for trying to influence potential great men and women, but do you think it's enough?
It's enough for a start. For how can we just sit back and say nothing, do nothing, when our nation is in the state it is in? You know, it's just common sense that our country needs to invest in all races and cultures to help make as well as keep America great. But until they get the memo, let it start with us. For now is the time for us to do better, to be better.
I see.
John F. Kennedy. You might as well have said a Malcolm X or an Angela Davis should rise up too.
If that's what it takes to lead to the path of greatness.
Betty, how can you say such a thing?
I told you, a whole lot of woman.
Oh no, there's only one way to glory greatness.
Johnny Bob, you can say and think whatever you want to, you impulsive simpleton. And to think I thought you might be a potential writing buddy.
You want to partner up with me?
I didn't see that coming.
Yes, you big goof. For there is potential in that jingoism that you call writing. So, what do you say?
Well, that changes everything. I mean, I'd like to. But please understand, Betty, I just want what's best for my country.
I know you do, and in time, others will too. So what do you say?
Hold on. I know I got one here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Yeah. You know, I have so many ideas already, Betty. I can run them by you right now.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Look at you two. I warn you, Betty, he's quite a project, you know.
Well, I'm always at my best with a good project in front of me, so we're off to a good start.
You know, you're welcome to join us too, Professor. There's so much to explore here. We could write about expanding voting rights, increasing teachers' pay. Why, we can even revisit your script, Brutally Justified.
Well, thank you, Johnny Bob, but, you know, our way of thinking is just too different. I don't think we'd ever see eye to eye.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, at least I'm beginning to see that that's the point.
Which is?
Well, that we're a product of what we see, of what America is, you and I. And now is really the time to become the United States of America, starting with us. And then we can take the idea nationwide together to do better, to be better, and to really become America great again.
America great again. It does have a ring to it. It does sound kind of nice. But, you know, I think I'm going to see what the future holds with my script right here.
Well, all right, Professor. It was sure good seeing you again.
You know, before we part ways, I'd like to say something. I don't know if either of you believe in divine providence, but I'm beginning to think that maybe our meeting today was both divine and providential. At least that's the way it feels to me.
It was great seeing you again, Professor.
Likewise, Betty.